Hey friends, it's Brad here, and I'm up in the Rocky Mountains again today, and I wanted to jump on and talk about the three pillars of becoming a good memoir writer and or storyteller. Here are the pillars. Number one, write. That's kind of obvious. We've got to write a lot. We've got to write every day. We've got to practice. We've got to tell stories. So writing a lot. That's pillar number one. Pillar number two is reading. Reading widely. Reading memoir, reading good stories, but also reading subjects that interest you, that light you up, that might become part of your stories. We want to have things to talk about other than yourself and your own life. We want to teach our readers things about the world and about what it means to be a human being. And then pillar number three is feedback, and that's sharing your writing, but only doing so with people you trust. Stephen King used to talk about the two kinds of writing, the closed door writing and the open door writing. And the first phase is the closed door writing, and you really don't share it with anybody. Maybe your closest friend who really wants you to tell your stories and is supportive of you. But during that closed door writing, you get the material down, you hone it, you practice, writing, telling better stories, reflecting. And then open door writing is when you're finally ready to share it and get feedback. Because as pillar number three is, we do need feedback, and we need it from people who care about you, but who will also be honest with you. So those are the three pillars today, and I thought maybe I'd dive a little bit deeper into pillar number one, which is, pillar number two, which is reading. So when I was in college, I went to college in Kansas, in one of the more conservative parts of the country. But fortunately, my university, the University of Kansas, was sort of a bastion of open-minded thinking. It was kind of a hippie bastion too. And I took a Marxism class and during my studies of philosophy, and I had an incredible teacher who, on the first day of class, taught us or reminded us the importance of reading with empathy. And so as the year went along and we read all the major works of Karl Marx, I really dedicated myself to trying to understand and feel into Marx's ideas, but also where he was coming from. Whatever you think about Karl Marx or, uh, the fact is he was a humanist and he was trying to make the world better. And so um, I spent that year really diving into trying to understand and relate to how he wanted to help the world. Maybe he was misguided. I'm not a Marxist. I'm not into that kind of politics or thinking. But that class deeply, profoundly changed me and taught me to crawl into the mind of the person I'm reading, no matter how different they are, no matter how offensive they are. Can you come in from a place of trying to understand their humanness and what they were trying to say? So that's pillar number two. It's reading widely, but also reading with empathy. So I'll log off now. Tommy and I got to head back to the city, to Boulder, and I'll be jumping on here more and more in the coming days to talk about writing, memoir writing, storytelling, and to share some about my upcoming project, which will be the sequel to my memoir that came out last year, Into the Soul of the World. So stay tuned. I hope you stick around.